And welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command. I'm Orion Pirates +1. I'm Fleet Admiral Mirak of the GCS, the heavy battlecruiser GCS Dracora, as we continue our campaign against the Klingon Star Empire. And last time, we conquered another sector. 411 happens to contain a station, and there are two more Klingon sectors off to the galactic west of here, which we'll probably try and knock down. But we're also getting rather close of taking the planet of 511, which hopefully we can do in short order. So let's pop out over here and see if we can't lay the pressure down. We're pretty much at maximum capability anyway at the moment. We haven't really taken any damage because, well, let's be honest, the Dracora is one of the most powerful ships we've ever actually driven. In terms of raw plasma damage, nothing beats it. Period. Literally, the only thing that can match it, I do believe, will be the Romulan heavy bombardment cruiser, and the reason for that is we are packing no less than 2 plasma Rs and 4 plasma Ss. To put this into perspective, the largest plasma battleships, these being the Godzilla-class battleship for the Gorn and the King Condor class for the Romulans. Those are the 2 largest plasma battleships in game. The King Condor and the Godzilla both have 2 R-type plasma torpedoes, 2 S-type plasma torpedoes, and 2 F-type plasma torpedoes, which do half the damage. So, yeah, in terms of raw plasma firepower, oh boy, are we packing. Especially once we set all the systems into overload mode. Anyway, we're being escorted today by the GCS Selo, which is a destroyer of some description. What type of destroyer are you? Fleet screen tells us it's a DCN. Not quite sure what that is, but it's not all that impressive anyway. We got a C8X and an HF5X Alphabet Soup destroyer, so we're of course going to focus on the C8X because at the end of the day he's a dreadnought. He is clearly the most important thing in the room for us to actually destroy, and so we shall. So first things first, we're going to prepare the holding tractor beam, because the entire plan of what we're going to do is we're going to run up to him, we're going to grab onto him, and then we're going to fire so much plasma that he's going to be crippled. And then we're going to fire so much phasers that he's going to be crippled. And then, if we are lucky, we'll be able to fly past him and hit him with a pair of Gatling phasers that we happen to have that shoot backwards, and they might just kill him. It'll be rather impressive. I'm kind of looking forward to it. Just double check. Yeah, the arcs show everything except the front. Always a little bit amusing to me. So we need to check our shield budget. We can steal from that. That shield budget is located by this number here. This is how much energy you're asking for. This is how much energy you can provide. And so we're just going to steal most of that so we can throw more into power for speed. And that way we can get onto the target in relatively short order and just annihilate him. Hopefully we can beat the Salo so that the Salo does not, waste systems. And I'm just going to double check the tractor beam. As you can see, we have 1 point of power allocated towards the tractor beams, 0 points of power allocated to the electronic warfare systems, and 26 of 26 points of power allocated to the weapons. Although that's mostly because we're not allocating any power at the moment to the phaser array, which the moment we do, there will go most of our power. Anyway, so we're getting in close, so we're going to start to slow down a bit. I do want to get up onto him, hit him with the tractor beam, then hit him with the weapons, although the Alphabet Soup Destroyer is coming in. He's getting very close. He's at a range of 10 at the moment. Forward shields almost got knocked down, but I don't think they actually did. Long-range plasma torpedo. Grab him. We've got him. Plasma away, buddy. You are mine. Phasers engaged. And wait for it. We're going to wait for that plasma to hit him as well. Probably don't need to, but I want to. And tractor beam, shut off. And plasma torpedoes to normal mode. So we managed to pick that up with our tractor beams, and then we're just going to pass on through and hit him with all the stern-firing phasers, including the Gatling phasers, which tore him apart. Lovely. So the C8X, and as you can see, this is why this ship is so gosh darn powerful. It really took us one pass just to utterly obliterate him. I've already dealt with his fighters as well, thanks to our D-type plasma torpedo. Honestly, the heavy bombardment cruiser may be the best X ship ever. I'm not quite sure. It can defend itself, it can fight, it can do everything. So we're just waiting here at the moment. We're going to let him probably pass over us, although if I can encourage him to fly ahead of me, that would be ideal. Oh crap, you opened me up. That's not cool at all. Engage with Gatling phasers and make him regret for doing that. Aft shields are almost down, but he's coming around to the port side, so as long as he's over there, we don't really care all that much. Engage with the X phasers. There we go. Blinking through yet again. Our plasma torpedoes are slowly charging, but that's to be expected. We're just going to slowly trundle our way away from this mine so we don't get hurt by it, because otherwise, pain. Lots of pain. As you can see, we've already lost one of our shields. Have we actually taken any damage? We have not. So the armor is handling the problem, and let's see how much power. Yeah, let's steal from the shield budget now. A little bit. And now he's tried to engage, but our D-type plasma torpedo is once again ready for all his shenanigans. And I'd like to get him a little bit closer before I start shooting phasers at him. I'd like to be within a range of 5, and I'll like to get a little bit even closer than that, mostly so I can also alpha strike all of my phasers, because he's starting to get a little bit close. We've managed to knock out several of his forward weapons. I was about to say most, but at the end of the day, not really. And Gatling phasers. Ooh, we managed to get through our raft shields again. That was somewhat to be expected. Plasma torpedo. And there we go. 2 plasma torpedoes over the shoulder. They are not enveloping type. Direct damage, however, was all that was required. Lovely. Plasma torpedoes back to enveloping. This is a PL5, I believe? Yes, a PL5. So this system cannot actually defend itself from the amount of firepower we're about to put onto it because it has a maximum weapons array of 8 phaser 3s, which is helpless. And then it also has no planetary shield, so that's also mostly helpless. We're going to pick up the speed, and we're just going to get right next to the planet. We're going to bombard it with all the plasma that we can manage. I believe we calculated this out, and it is our plasma bombardment does 73 damage per side. So that's 73 times 6, or something like that. So we deal just stupid amounts of damage. It's going to be lovely. We're going to utterly obliterate this entire Marine complement. I don't know if we'll be able to do it in one shot, but it certainly isn't going to take more than 2. So I'm going to start slowing down so I don't accidentally plow into the planet. That is a concern. The planets do exist. If you run into them, it's not like running into ships in this game. If you run into the planet, well, you're going to die. Hands down. Plasma torpedoes prepared to fire. We're just going to get nice and close so that we can hit them with all the pain. So not even more. Plasma away. 434 damage. And if you'll notice, the number of Marines went to 2 immediately, and the bottom number that a planet can have is 2. Really, the bottom of anything that you can shoot their Marines down is down to 2. You can't reduce them down to 1 or 0 unless you send your own Marines over, which, you know, we have, and they're about to conquer the entirety of the planet. And all it took was a single plasma torpedo barrage, which does mean that if we really want to, we can cheese this mission super easily. All we've got to do is skip on past the defenders, plasma torpedo the planet once, and then beam people over. It's not quite as easy when you're dealing with a PLPH, because that actually has weapons to defend itself with, but as long as it's an undefended planet like this, it's an easy 495 prestige. Bob over back here, high supply. We took 63 damage. It was unfortunate. And we used up 4 Marines, so we're just going to get 4 more back on. They were deployed to the planet, and it was quite excellent. Ooh, unfortunately, diplomatic delivery. Could do a distress call, but the distress call starts so far away. We'd have to rush into the fight instead of just taking our time leisurely, like we're about to, overload all weapon systems. We do have a friend. It is a planet, but the planets don't make very good friends. The enemy, on the other hand, is a single heavy cruiser and a frigate. So a G6X, which is a gunboat, and a D6X, which is an out-of-date heavy cruiser, which hopefully we should be able to beat the crap out of without too much effort. So we're going to prepare all of our ship systems to do exactly that. Now, unlike the Dreadnought, which required more than one sort of volley of fire, this heavy cruiser is going to melt away instantly the moment we hit it. Like, that is not even in question. We'll fire a single salvo of plasma torpedoes at him, he will die. And then we'll turn around and fire our phasers at the gunboat, which will not die, but it'll still take some damage and it'll be a fairly ugly affair. More speed. Let's see if I can't just ignore this gunboat entirely, because the distance is, he's a little bit closer. He's about 10 closer. A little less than that. So we should be able to get onto this heavy cruiser before all hell breaks loose. And he's opening fire with his disruptors, actually getting through because we're not actually defending our shields all that effectively. And we did manage to leap forward and get to this guy first. Plasma torpedoes are set and ready to rock. And I do not anticipate having any trouble with you. Plasma may now engage. Destroyed. Lovely. On to target number the dose. So we'll slow down way far, just so we can start preparing all of our other plasma torpedoes without missing so much as a beat. And our forward shields will be able to tank all of this. And I'm just going to get extra special close. That way we can ensure the maximum amount of damage. Lovely. 22. It's not insane amounts of damage, but it's still a lot of fun. Gatling phasers may now engage. And we've cut through quite more of his defenses. And we can just stay nice and slow. So we can charge our plasma torpedoes, charge all of our weapon systems, and just continue to lay into him with a monstrous amount of firepower. Opened him up again. Just a bad day all around. Well, my Gatling phasers get, and we took him. Lovely. So we can now set our systems to yellow alert. I used to set it to just green alert and sprint it as fast as we could towards the planet, but we stopped doing that when one time we actually ran into a dust cloud and it ended up being kind of painful to have to work with. So we keep the shields up just in case. You know, you never know when a random dust cloud is just going to show up and start damaging you for no reason at all. All right, let's get the diplomat ready to get kicked out of the side hatch and off onto the planet. Well, really, we'll beam him down, but it's more or less the same thing. Throwing his atoms overboard, or his energy, I suppose. start to getting towards the planet. F5 to shut off the lock camera, which means I can sort of aim so as to not hit the planet, and slow down the speed of time just so I can think. Beam over, turn, and increase the speed of time, and we got 3.8, fairly close to that planet actually. That could have been disastrous if we had actually hit it. Luckily we did not. So Diplomat successfully delivered, and all is well in the world. So now we just need to see how much prestige we get for that. 460, that's almost as much as conquering a planet. Not bad at all. We'll show up back here at the planet, and another planetary assault. It's what we do best, honestly. A heavy bombardment cruiser, planetary assault is our bread and butter. So, prepare for the deck. And today we're actually being escorted by the Salo once again, but we've also brought along for the ride the Fire Death, a ship trying way too hard, but he is packing a plasma S and two plasma S's and a plasma R torpedo, so that's a pretty significant amount of firepower for a destroyer. We also have a heavy cruiser off in the distance, and the planet is an undefended planet. It is a PL3, and the cruiser is a C7X, so not just a cruiser, but a battle cruiser. C7Xs are phenomenal. Well, yeah, they're phenomenal battle cruisers. The C7 for sure is a great battle cruiser. The X series refit, yeah, it starts to become a little bit more murky as to what is the best ship out there. But C7s are they're a fairly decent design anyway. It's one of the reasons why I kind of want to make the Klingon battlecruiser line, the C7s, to be Vorchas, because I think Vorchas are some of the coolest ships. For the TNG mod, of course, obviously not for this. This will remain TOS-ified, and in fact, recently Adam and Autopilot Men have helped out quite a lot. Adam managed to port over a Texas class and the Ares from the Prelude to Axanar series, which we have included into this version of the game. So if we ever come across the Federation in the early era, we can come across their light cruiser, which is now the Texas class. It's always been a Texas class, but the Texas class we had before this has been, I'll put it bluntly, horrifically ugly. The new one is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm very happy that we have it. If you want to check out images of that, we have them in the Discord at the moment on our picture channel, as we've shown them off a little bit. And the Ares from Prelude to Axanar, which is a fairly cool ship. Now, the Ares that he converted is one that has the Cage era spikes on the nacelles, as well as a TOS-style deflector rather than the more TMP-style deflector. It still looks gorgeous, though. And so we've put that in. We have debated back and forth on the Discord as like how to implement it, given the fact that it's supposed to be the predecessor of the Constitution class, while at the same time being basically the equivalent of a D6. There's no ship in the Federation that is kind of directly equivalent to a D6. It just doesn't seem to exist at the time period. So the choice is either build your own entire line of ship or fill it into something else. Now, I am not opposed to building our entire line of ship. That's kind of actually what we're starting to look into and trying to figure out a balanced way of doing that. But in the meantime, I have put it in as the early strike cruiser, the FCS. And the reason for that is because it uses an early era TNG or TOS style of Constitution class, more similar to a TOS style of the Kirov class that we have in the battlecruisers, and then we just replace that. And it's fairly powerful. It's 8 phaser 1s and 4 photon torpedoes, which is actually fairly close to what the model looks like, although we have suggested that perhaps we should design it, if we design a special class just for it, to make it so that it is in fact all phaser 2s. Because the Ares class is supposed to be the predecessor of the Constitution, and so it makes sense that it would have the older style phasers before the phaser 1s came out. Anyway, just a couple of things we've been banding about on the Discord, but he has done some phenomenal work in converting models. I believe it came from Bridge Commander. Now, I don't know how to do that, but he does, and he has also managed to make it work with hardpoints, so it looks gorgeous, I might add. But yeah, I am looking forward to seeing what else ends up being converted, although he is quite busy. So if you actually know how to do it or would understand modeling, feel free to drop by our Discord. There is a link down in the description below, and get in touch with him, and maybe he can teach you how to do it, and you could help out with the mod as well. Both with the TOS version, which we're currently playing, and the TNG version of the mod, which we are building. And if you want to see the work in progresses that we're doing of that, swing by our Wednesday streams, where we sort of show off what we've gotten done at the time or the moment. We've had 2 streams so far showing off the TNG mod, and both of them have gone pretty good. Right now, we are working on Federation ships. We're pretty much all done with making the entirety of the Federation line. But there's been some size issues that we're working to make the ships actually look the correct size rather than being ridiculous. Okay, this is a bit of a problem. We're being surrounded... Well, we are outgunned. Well, maybe not outgunned, but we are outnumbered. So we got a gunboat, a D-7T, and an XCF, so you've got to die first. So the D-7T is a tournament heavy cruiser. It's a little bit irritating to have to work with. So he's fairly decent. The X refit actually makes him pretty nasty because he has several dual phaser 2 mounts, which once the X era hits, they become phaser X's, which drastically increases the firepower. The E3E I'm not all that worried about. It's not an E3Y, so it's not a bird of prey, but I'm not concerned about an E3 escort gunboat. However, the XCF is of course a fast advanced heavy cruiser, which is potentially very dangerous. He'll have a lot of phasers, he'll have a lot of firepower. I do believe he can actually survive our entire barrage if we just unload that on him. So we're going to dive in on top of him, blast him to pieces. We might turn around and hit him with... No, we're not going to have phasers. We will not have any phasers aside in order to handle that. So just sort of deal with him in an unfortunate manner. We do need a tractor beam though. That'll be very important to have the tractor beam prepared. So start building that up. He's going to hog... He's going to just follow me really closely, isn't he? Hopefully I can use a mine to push him away or something like that. He is coming around in a fairly wide circle behind me. So dump a mine. So hopefully that'll push him out just a little bit. Distance is increasing again. Lovely. So we'll slow way down, get some forward shield reinforcement going on here. And he is trying to keep the speed up. He's also weakened my forward shield pretty considerably. You know what I can do? Stop, in the name of love. Fire phasers. I didn't want to do that. Let him go. So we made him stop in the name of love. This is both good and bad. The good is that he stopped. The bad is that he's very, very close. So, oh, and there's the tournament heavy cruiser. And it's firing plasma torpedoes, or not plasma, photon torpedoes my way. And it looks like the shell ran into my mine. That is hilarious to me on multiple levels. Alright, we're going to be too close for this. You know what? Blast him. Just incinerate him, please. And then fire the phasers. We took a lot more hits on that than we otherwise needed to. So get ready with the Marines, actually. 14? We're not there yet, but we will be. So we'll make them hurt. And where's his shuttle bay? Nuke that sucker. Send over all of our Marines, and we did not get that shuttle bay. So we are going to get hit quite a bit by this one. At least he cleared off the mine for me. Fix that. Fix this phaser X. Fix this phaser X. Apparently you didn't pay attention to what I had actually asked you to do. So the DAT is a bit of a problem. And we have lost all shields. Oh, now we're in a really nasty position. We're surrounded by multiple ships, which can deal a lot of damage to us. So we've got to get underway and drop a mine. I need more power. I need a lot more power. Also need that D-type plasma torpedo back ASAP. Ooh, we're losing most of our rear systems. Yeah, it's running time. Let's hit the burners and we're gone. Is that the... Oh great, we're traveling towards the FRDs. Not ideal. Okay, keep the repairs going. And go yellow alert. Cut all weapons. And another mine. So the goal is to run. If I turn enough, I can force enough of a pull away. It's a long trip out of here though. And if I can't get up to full speed, then we're dead. Unfortunately, we are way below full speed. And he is well designed to fight us. At least we dealt a fairly decent amount of damage to this guy. I mean, look at that. But our armor has been cut through, and photon torpedoes are going to hit. 18. We're down to 12 speed. Yeah, we're not going to make it out of here unless we manage to get some serious increase in power going on here. Every single hit that deals a point of damage is catastrophic. Drop another mine. Oof. Down to 9. I don't think we get out of here. Yeah, I'm not sure how to get out of here. I've dropped enough mines in order to make it an interesting path, but yeah, they can just, at their leisure. This was a terrible result. You know what? I know why. Damn it. That pull-away maneuver really got me. It was such a minor thing, too, but it was the thing that won this match for them. Because otherwise, we would have engaged the XCF in good order. We would have blown through at full speed and be able to turn on the next target. Yeah. Yeah, that's it right there. So we are down to 0 speed. We have just enough power in order to run the life support on the vessel. Outthought and outsmarted by the AI. How painful is that? Oof. So we were having a really good run there, but the Dracora is no more. Now we can replace it in short order, assuming it's in the shop. But oh, that was not good. That does allow them to get a little bit more influence over their area, and we don't want them to have that. Although at least we come home nice and safe. Shipyard high. I'd like another XCB. It happens to be the love of my life that I will demand that I have. There it is. Thank you. Buy that. Supply. And let's get rid of the Galitho. We are now in GCS Protector. And we're going to have to keep putting the pressure down. We've got them to an Empire Defense of 9, so we're looking at 3 more missions to grab this tile. And then we'll have their most dangerous planet. Well, no, there's like 2 or 3 more planets down here. But we will have another important planet taken as we move down south. But anyway, that's going to do it for today's episode. I've been Mirak. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to see a notification every time I see these videos, press that little bell icon, leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next episode.